It's all about telling other people's stories. Particularly today, I'm going to tell a story of my own. During the time I worked overtime. Student time. Today's story is called The Queen. In the milk tea shop. I remember not doing. That year was my first year of college. I have a lot of free time that time. I didn't learn much in my first year. I am looking for more work. I see that there is a milk tea shop. It's about to open. Then I signed up, so that the form is mainly sold and carried away a lot. Raw is the size of this bar. It's very small, people, and its advantage is, it'll lower the rent for the owner. The opening day was very crowded. The width of this bar, I remember it was about 2 meters. 2.5 meters from the outside. Left-hand side. It'll be a barbecue stand for the staff. Also on the left-hand side. Going straight in, there's a warehouse. Next to the warehouse, there's a gap. Let me put the chairs on. Tools, that stuff. Why is that space 2 toilets? What's special about this toilet? From the first day I entered the bar, I find it quite strange. It's because the owner designed 2 toilets. The male toilet is very normal. It also has a small mirror for me to see. And the light that's there is a normal white neon light. But the women's toilet next door, it seems a little wider. And the owner's favorite is him. Buy a full body mirror. For guests, when people go in there, people can see their whole bodies. But what's special? It's the light by the ladies' room. It's the yellow light. So every time I go to the ladies' room, it feels a little dark. It is darker than the toilet. I have a friend in the bar. He is 2 years older than me. He is a man who is called a man. It means, he's very sensitive to spiritual matters. Especially where there's a ghost. He's easy to see. Since the opening day, the restaurant has been very good. Until one day, at the CA at noon. CA noon will start from 12 noon until 5 p.m. There were few guests at noon. So it's noon. There are only 2 employees assigned. I'm the bartender standing in the counter and the guy who has the. He was a waiter earlier. He stood outside to deliver water to the guests. It is this toilet. It's on the same side as the bartender. So when I stand, I mix water. I can't see it on the toilet. There are only AIs sitting outside opposite me. Is to include a row of waiting chairs. And the people standing across from me. You can see the way to the toilet. In front of these 2 toilets. It has a door. To get through another house next door. And I remember correctly that it was Sunday. So they locked the door on the other side. In Raw, no one will come through here. They don't usually come here. Because it is not related. Everything was that day. There's a woman who just buys water. Just sit in the chair across from me. Just waiting for water. When I finished my cup of tea, I took it down to the end of the counter to give it to that clerk. He dropped the ridiculous glass of water and handed it to the guests. He's dying, putting that glass of water in that bag. Then I noticed. Suddenly he looked over the toilet. He shot himself. And then suddenly that glass of water fell down. I think I noticed that guest. Maybe you see it too. So I'm asking you what's wrong with me. What do you see? This guy. He said he was always there and the guest was always there. He said, "Oh my God, why do you see a woman? From the side door of the house over there." She went from there through the ladies' room. What I can see clearly is that she's always wearing a Mrs. BA outfit. Chang's color is milk tea. But there's these little yellow flowers. And suddenly I look at what I do. Then the sister. This guest is also silent. It's because this glass of water has dropped. It's spilled. Let's make another glass for you. After that, I asked this guy carefully. Well, he's right. I am very afraid of ghosts. When I heard that, I gave everyone a goosebumps. Even though he's a very visible ghost. But he's scared. And his voice, it stuttered like he did. It's so scary. It's always him who takes out the phone. New photo for the owner. He said, "Brother, I just saw that with water." I was so scared that he said it was too much. I know. Let me call the hostess. He said, "Sister, my staff just saw that." You know what the landlady said? She said it was that girl. I just don't like the yellow light. Change the light color. That's all she said. She didn't say, "Well, there's a ghost or there's no ghost." Now that I am scared, I am even more scared and all the staff in the bar are as good as they are. And it started that day. That's the boss. He just brought a sensor he left in the warehouse. This warehouse is very small. He asked for a photo sensor. It's all over the 3rd compartment of this warehouse. The next day is always the same as my lunch. That day, there was a boy who was late. So I had to do it alone. I can only stand in that place. That's the bartender by the door. I can't stand near the warehouse. Suddenly I saw the owner in the bar follow a box of his ribs into that warehouse. He opened Ra's lunchbox and he opened Ra's bag of fish sauce. Chan's picture is there. He gave it to her. I thought he was sitting with me. But he came in and he went out. He said one thing. Watch out for the bar. This girl just likes to be in the closet. So you guys restricted access to the warehouse. The photo was taken about half an hour later. I remember it was about 2:30 p.m. Then we go to the warehouse. I took my way accidentally. I looked through the lunchbox. What do you know? They're nuts. It's like it's covered in something. It's viscous. It's viscous. It's like the rice I left overnight. It's moist. It looks terrible. I already know. In general, my job is to cook. I have to go to the warehouse to control the beginning of the day. At the end of the day, especially the girls, it's very scary. If I'm going to do CA in the afternoon, everyone, 5 p.m. If I'm late, I have to go to the warehouse. I sit and eat. There is no place to eat. But sitting there is generally very unsettling feeling. I feel so scared. Every time I go in there, I check. I always have a feeling. It's like having another look. It's watching me. It's starting with that. All the staff in the bar. Everyone already knows. There was her presence in the bar. I don't know the reason for that. And where did she come from? By chance. One day, the owner of the photo bar had an opportunity to talk to the owner. The owner of this house said, yes, there was one in the past. She is also the owner of this house. She was pregnant in the womb at the time. But there's a conflict with the family. If your husband disagrees with you, you are sad. That's why you strangled her. And commit suicide immediately. This is the current female toilet. This sister said more. This woman's death is not kept. So you know there's a sister in the bar. It's Ra, you guys. Every day I will bless you. It won't hurt us. The city was from then on. In every case, you have to give. This sister. The strange thing is that I've been cooking Asian food. It's never been so bad. Ever since this thing happened? One day to forget. Or if you're late, the pearls will be burned. People when they cook pearls, especially black sugar pearls, I have to stir constantly so that the hips will stick. There are some people who are late or don't worship. It's as if he's going to get his ass wiped almost to death. This time around, I was scared and all the staff were scared. But because I think the business is so good, and the treatment in the bar is very milky, the staff is very friendly playing together. So I don't want to quit my job right now. People until once. Your boss just proposed. I will nominate CA chief. In all his employees. That's lucky. I am the youngest person to be a CEO. And the bar will have BA chief CA. The work of the CA chief. I will manage the people in my office. They always arrive later than everyone else. Let's close the door and see if the radio is off. And the important mission. At the end of the day, we have to burn the paper money. Give it to that sister. And especially the full moon days. That's more for you. That is, every day there is a gift. It will be sold very well that day. One day it was my CA. I did that a day before me. It's from a guy named CA Kia. What the manager told Chung. He told you if there was a fruit offering, you have to buy other fruits. With the kinds of fruits that we're doing business with. Because we are in the milk tea business. And fruit tea. We use a lot of fruit. This includes fruits like Australian oranges, apple, pomegranate and kiwi. But I don't understand why that tall guy. It's lazy or something. He went to the market and bought another fruit. Dragon fruit for example. Or something to buy. He's got the fruit in the fridge. It always means it takes oranges. And he took Ra's pomegranate so that he could offer it. So let's go to my CA. Then I opened the refrigerator to open the CA. I see oranges. It's like it's got dark spots. It's got a hole in it. Was deeply gaping while this cam just entered. Yesterday. But this orange is all bought in the supermarket. Start to pomegranate. Take the pomegranates out to separate the seeds. I want to decorate. Everyone. The seeds. This pomegranate. It's like being squeezed by the AI. It's slimy. It's watery. After that, call the manager. The manager said that's why. He asked the head of the CA. Then it says grossly. That's why I don't know. I took those fruits. I just gave them to you. I don't know if I was cursed for a while. The next one is, this time the company hired a new manager. This guy is very good. But on the outside, he's a little sick. That's the same day I was working at CA. It's about 3 p.m. He went to the bathroom. Look at the toilet. Whether the kids have cleaned up in the morning or not. I'm dying out here. I saw him scream. When he came outside the counter, he fainted. I thought he had calcium deficiency or something. That's it. He just said, "You went to the ladies' room just now." I just opened the door. I see a whole woman. Looking at myself in the mirror. Stand still for a few seconds. Everyone he is looking at. He noticed this woman again. He has feet. It's like he's too scared to pass out. So that's, from then on, he knows there is the presence of this in the bar. At that time, afraid is still afraid. But the managers, the pictures just say, if I knew this woman was here. But she didn't break it. If I pray, she will bless me. So it is. Don't let anyone call you or anything touch you. Should not be. I don't really care about this either. But I don't understand why. The head of CA. It's the guy who offered the fruit. I just told you. Please. The owner. Name, date of birth. Generally speaking, the information of the woman in here. He told me to go back to the bar. It shaves her dead. Because, if you ask me for information, I will expel this woman. 2. The owner of the house will never give it. Because it could be. This guy is familiar with the owner. In addition to this, she is only fit. Help her. She's not doing any harm. But that, when it asks the host for this information, he told the owner that, "Sister, please give me information. Let me go to the bathroom." Because of this guy, he's familiar with some shaman. So it's the meal after that teacher. He's in the bar too. He offered something so that he could buy her back. When you hear this information, the manager is very angry with everyone. Because this guy is so spiritual. He's scared of those things. He's afraid that when she leaves 10, she'll mess up. So that's what he said when he went to coffee. This guy was also kicked. So that's from then on. Every time I work all night, I have to go home. Later than everyone else. I have to see if the lights are out. I had to go down to the closet at the end of the bar. That's in front of the ladies' room. To get the leftovers. Then paper money. Gold and silver in front of the door. I burn it for you every day. Always. Because I worked a lot at night there. So yeah. It took me about 12 hours to finish the job. And then you had to give that to me. What time is it to get home? I am obsessed with everyone. I'm so scared. You have to take these little cakes. Make one. And the second plate is gold and silver banknotes. The third is for you. Get those things out. After the dishes are done, you have to go out in front of the bar and burn incense. And stick incense in the tree in front of the bar. What night do I have to spend? I was late to my room. So I'm scared of you guys. Until one day. That day was like every other day. I also came home from work very late at night to wear glasses. Finished one. When I got back to my room, I can't take a shower anymore. I brought the book to study. Because the next morning at 6 o'clock, I have to have a test. The head of my bed is next to the window. And my window is always closed. It was about 1:30 p.m. Not sleeping anymore and studying. I was sitting there studying. Listening from the window. There's a smell of it in my nostrils. But that smelled chong is like incense. The smell of paper money. Gold and silver. It smells bad. Those two smells, they go together. It mixes it up. It pins it right up its nose. I fell into a state where I don't know anything. It's like people are thinking. I don't know. Is it because I'm obsessed with that smell? I burn my hips every day. Sitting there thinking like that. Then suddenly the fan is under my feet. It's shooting normally. And then it suddenly screams. The plug, and it snapped the propeller. It's in my hand. My hand is broken. There are still scars. People. The next day, I quit my job. In general, in that period of time, I worked more there. I am very good. Late night coffee with a group of friends. There's this guy in there. That's what you can easily see. I will continue to talk about. Every time I go out with him. People see this story. How is it? You can leave a comment below and let me know. Bye bye.